Welcome to the Amazon's podcast. I hope everyone enjoyed their Thanksgiving as well as you were safe out there shopping in this Black Friday chaos every year. Welcome to the Amazon's podcast. It's been a great Thanksgiving week, and what a way to round it up with none other than Helle Treveno, fresh off the Olympia stage. And so glad for you to join me today, and looking forward to talking to you about everything that you got going on.
Hi, Glenn. Happy Thanksgiving.
Same here. So, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm hanging in there. Not too much is going on. Back to work on Monday, and working, of course, on the January issue of Amazon's Fitness magazine. So, uh, hey, I'm at it.
I, I get a little bit in the holiday mood.
So, where are you now? You're in California.
Yeah, I'm in Los Angeles.
Okay.
I've been
All
here
right.
Olympia.
Okay. So, you still not looking at selling in the States or no?
Well, LA is home.
Mm-hmm.
It's home. Like being back after actually being gone for like what is it now, 3 years. I was a little bit like, okay, how will it be to get back after 3 years? How will I feel about it? Am I gonna
Mm-hmm.
be estranged, or is it going to be familiar? Or I know a lot of my friends, they moved because of COVID, inflation, all of those things. So there's definitely not as many left as there previously were, but nonetheless it feels like home. Like I'm really enjoying my time. um been hanging out with, yeah, friends and training, and just
Mm-hmm.
the LA weather.
7 weeks post Olympia. Give me your feedback. Uh, as well what you saw, and as well as what was the feedback from the judges.
um well, it was very exciting for me to go into this Olympia, because not only was I with a new coach, but I had also been out for one season, which, so my last competition was 2022 Olympia.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like almost 2 years, 23 and then 24 up till October. So I was like really excited to see how my look was. I have been working on different things, just bringing my waist in more, regaining size after surgeries, injuries, whatnot. Um, I was very pleased with my look. I was very pleased with the package I brought. I thought it was probably my best in terms of like shape, aesthetic,
Mm-hmm.
um, conditioning. I was very happy with. I got some feedback from both Sandy and Steve Weinberger, and they both said individually that they thought this year was my best package, uh,
Really?
but I needed to work more on size.
Yeah.
I think my size was a little bit down. Like I had hoped I had managed to regain it all back. But well, there's more to work on. But in terms of like shape, proportions, they thought I had the best look so far. I really brought my
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably the smallest it's ever been. But I need to work on more size.
Do you think that could have been attributed to being away from the stage, and as well as going through rehab and making your comeback?
I think injuries really hurt me,
Mm-hmm.
because I did train really hard in 23, but my shoulder injury, it has really, like, my whole right side was so atrophied. It really took me has taken me a long time to bring up the symmetry and bring both sides up to par. Then I'm
Mm-hmm.
struggling with a knee injury. So I think just that is, for any athlete, injuries is always the most detrimental. And I mean, I've been spared for injuries in years, but you got to think about Yeah, I'm probably one of the last women standing, from my era.
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
My first competition was in 1998.
that's true. And
That's
what?
so I've been a pro since 2003. I've been training for what uh 34 years, something like that.
Mhm.
So I definitely have some miles on my body, and it's been showing in the later years that I've just been like having been more prone to injuries, having
Mhm.
just been limited in my training. Fortunately, I had stem cells a year ago, which
Mhm.
probably is the reason why I'm still on stage. It really helped me a lot. The wear and tear I had on my body, it was not enough one round, so I'm going back to Colombia for stem cells here in January.
Mhm.
I think I had like probably like a 40%, um like 40% better um mobility, less pain, better joint movement than I had before. So I'm hoping with this next bout of stem cells that it's just gonna get even better, maybe 100%.
Now, that being said, and we're talking about what was, is great to reflect on. No one expected you to win, number one, but I definitely don't think they had you in their top five, let alone top 10. So
Mhm.
for you to finish fourth, and to hear all the naysayers and to be away so long and come back, I mean, you whipped a lot of out of the 15, saying to end up fourth,
Yeah,
yeah. And
yeah.
that speaks a lot to you and the separation that you still have over a lot of competitors out there.
I was real happy with my package, and I mean, yeah, I whipped a lot of asses, and I'll say just the beginning. I'm
Yeah.
not finished yet. I may have had some setbacks, but the dream is still to win that title. So I'm doing what I can to be healthy, stay healthy, take care of my joints. I'm not the youngest, but you know what? I have an amazing muscle maturity that you only get with years and is only getting better. And if I can just remain injury free, I will be
Hmm.
set.
And when you look at the stallions, Andrea Shaw, Angela Yo, Ashley Jones, Helle Treveno, fourth in the world, followed by Nadia Capisoto. And, the list goes all the way down of those 15. To me, that was incredible because I didn't know what to expect. I take people at their word. I'm like, this is going to be a battle. It's going to be historic in 60 years. And you know how much we talk back and forth. But I really don't think anybody had you uh, finishing in the top 10. I really don't. So I think it sent a strong message. And what's clear is you're lifetime qualified. Um, Large part of Wings of Strength when they took the Olympia away. You being lifetime qualified, those top four women, from Andrea Shaw, Angela Yo, Ashley Jones, and you got a whole year to prepare. And those, I think, all you're going to push each other. But I think you surprise a lot of people, and when you having a whole year off to prepare as well as continue to get healed up, as you still was really in recovery stage. You could have called it that after being away so long from injury and not being on the stage. What's your 2025 package going to look like?
Hopefully, the same great conditioning. Um, I'm hoping for even a little bit better
Hmm.
and bigger. The notice I got was I need to bring a wider back and I need to bring more sweep on my quads, so more extra.
Hmm.
So that's what I'm working on, bringing that. Um, I don't want to change so many other things. Like, I mean, I want to get as fucking ripped as I can,
Yeah.
and then and just bring more size, in the right areas. But I mean, I love to be the underdog. I think it's a great spot to be in because
Right.
it's always the underdog that's lurking, and
Mm-hmm.
pressure is on the top dogs that they're like, oh, this one is gonna do it and this one is gonna do it. I mean, I had no pressure on me going in because
Mm-hmm.
I knew already I was counted out. Like I could see
Right. Yeah.
on different social media channels and stuff that I was counted out, and I was good with
Yeah.
it. I was,
Yeah.
hey, let's work in peace, and they got to see something.
when you when you look at it now, going into 2025, you're not gonna sneak up on anybody.
Ah,
Obviously, everybody's gonna take you serious. It is like, you know,
they might be talking about what I'm gonna bring. So
I'm
it's
sure there will be,
I'm back now. And
but you're still in a lot of people's head too. Because of where you did place, and like I said, I was glad to see you and Ashley as well as Teresa. She got 10th as y'all's placing because overall with looking at you three, I don't think nobody had y'all even placing as high as you did. And of course, Ashley did what she did. You came and did what you done, and of course, Teresa Advance is right there, perennial Olympians, and so it's. I'm anxious to see with top four spots already locked in for 2025, and I think there was a competition recently that may have been an Olympia qualifier. But my point is this: do you think that the list was just right at 15? Too many? Uh, and I really think they got it right from the standpoint these were the best of the best in the world. But could we have gone as far as 20 if we had more shows? Will there be more shows in 2025? We don't know. But what's your overall thought process of that?
I think somewhere around between 15 to 20 is good.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think I think there was a one or two competitions that were won by the same person, wasn't it? So
Mm-hmm.
a few spots got away that way. So it could have been maybe 17, but I think
And then the visa,
and the
that disqualified.
I think somewhere between 15 and 20 is a good number.
Yeah.
And of course, we always hope for as many qualifiers as possible, to give to have a good competitive platform all throughout the year.
Mm-hmm. What will you do in 2025 when you travel? You talk about you going back to Colombia to get your stem cell done again in January. You had switched coaches, not really late, I think that 8 weeks out.
So
And so now you get to work with them another year, correct?
yeah, no, I had Stefan Kinsel 14 weeks out.
Okay.
So it wasn't like really super late, but it would have been nice to have more time. We will have more time now to work. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
about going back to Brazil because I really like training there. Um,
Mm-hmm.
LA, but I sort of like to be away from distractions and friends, and I'm always invited to something, and just regular life. I like to kind of go in
Right.
bubble. Like the gym in Sao Paulo, Ironburg, is like the best gym I've ever trained at. It's like incredible. It has like I love Panada. That's my favorite machine
Mm-hmm.
on, and they have mainly Panada, and I think they said they had like 450 machines. And they're planning on 900. So it's huge, and it's just everything's new. They open in 2020, so yeah, it's a dream to train there. I really love it. So for prep, I'm thinking I want to go to back to Sao Paulo. Probably it's probably going to be something like mid-December. I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
fly back home and spend Christmas in Europe, and then I'm gonna fly to Colombia for stem cells around January 20, and then I'm gonna stay there a week, and then I'm gonna go to Colombia and just train my ass off.
You don't see yourself making any appearances throughout the year?
you know, um, if I get Appearances, it's super hard for women. It's no
Mm-hmm.
secret. It's hard for women to get paid appearances, like
Mm,
posings, booth appearances, and so forth. It's not easy for female bodybuilders to get those jobs. It usually falls to the men. Also,
mm-hmm.
sponsorships, it's really hard to get paid sponsorships. So I'm already now kind of looking for what I can set up for next year. Um,
Mm-hmm.
as far as competitions, I mean, I think everybody is counting on I'm doing Rising Phoenix and Olympia, which is
Mm-hmm.
probably what I will do. But I'm also looking at maybe doing the Masters Olympia, but
In Japan.
in Japan.
Mm,
It's
yep.
really depending on if I can find sponsors, because
Right.
um, the only thing that's lucrative for me is getting the title. Like the prize money is like not really big at all.
Yeah.
We have to pay everything ourselves: the flight,
Yeah.
the hotel, the expenses, the tan, the makeup, everything. And those companies that I'm sponsored by in the States, for instance, like tan and makeup, they're not going to be there. So it's
Mm,
all expense on the athlete and very little prize money. So it's not really lucrative to go. But if I could find a sponsor that would help out, I,
mm-hmm.
so we'll see.
But your plan is now to do the Wings of Strength in 2025 and then the Olympia. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And speaking of prize money, when you go from 50K to 20K to 12K to 7K, that's that's a that's a big haul. I mean, that's a big difference. And yeah, I see your point.
Yeah.
Um,
You, in our sport, it's like you take any other sport, golf, tennis,
mhm.
boxing, whatever, fourth in the world, they would be well off.
Yeah, that will be good shape.
I walked away with 7 grand, so I can't really make a living off of that. So I
Yeah.
gotta go out and do the footwork, and see if I can get some sponsors that I can, hopefully do as many competitions as possible next year.
Mm. But right now, you're only looking at doing Wings of Strength, but you may do the Masters. Um, what else is out there? Well, you got the normals. I shouldn't call them the normal, but the ones that everybody's expected to see every year,
Yeah,
such as the New York, the Tampa, and the Atlanta. And of course, the list will be out shortly, and so everybody will know what's what then. But
yeah.
are you contemplating doing a U.S. show before Wings of Strength?
I have to talk to my coach really, how we are laying down the plan. Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
I always wanted to do the New York Pro. I never,
Mm-hmm.
and I always wanted to do it. Um, I think the Masters Olympia is fun because it's just came back. It hasn't been
Right.
years. I'm over 40, so I can do it. And it would be fun to go to Tokyo.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Rising Phoenix. I won that one twice before, so it's kind of like a show that's close to my heart. I
Yeah.
always wanted to win. I mean, I'm just really like, I just want to win it one time. If I
Yeah.
could just one time in my lifetime, I would be
Yeah.
happy.
And of course, Wings of Strength, that's the one that gave you the lifetime qualification. The show I was trying to think about was Romania. That's the one that just happened. That was a qualifier.
Right.
So by my count, that's five that's automatically qualified for next year now. So
I,
I hope that it continues to grow. Hopefully there'll be a new show or a different show. When you think about maybe Puerto Rico, the ones that what would be the shows you'd like to see come back?
Puerto Rico was a great show. I
Mm-hmm.
myself for booth work one year, and that was a great show. I really liked it, and it's a
Mm-hmm.
destination too for people that want to come out to either just watch the show or compete. That you can do some vacation there. Uh,
Right.
I think it's too bad that Betty Parito and her husband, they shut down women's bodybuilding. I've done their show, the Omaha Pro, before. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I just think, she's a women's bodybuilder, or was women's IFBB pro bodybuilder, and yeah, I just think it's too bad that they don't have that division in the shows anymore. So I mean, what they came out and said back then, that there wasn't enough athletes doing it. So, and I totally understand it from a promoter standpoint. There has been shows
Mm-hmm.
really thin, especially in the beginning of the year. So I hope that, we're going to keep growing the division. I mean, the division has grown
Yeah.
a lot over the years, and it will continue to grow. Also, as you know, we've been getting a good amount of bodybuilding from physique that kind of outgrew that division. So now
Mm-hmm.
it's going to grow. But I hope to see a lot of competitors compete next year, and yeah, hopefully I'll be on stage with some of them.
It's exciting to see. Well, you got the Triple O Dynasty. That should be one of the first shows, and then of course the Canada shows. Vancouver, Toronto. Just have to wait and see. And I guess it comes out to dollars and cents and what they want to promote. And I think a lot of it still is that women's bodybuilding is still recovering from when it was taken away. It's not there yet. It's on the way back for sure, based on what we saw the last 2 years of 2023 and 2024. Uh, yeah, it's on its way. It just needs a little bit more time and grooming, and we'll be fine. I think.
I think so too. I just see the sport being real popular. Like when you go on Instagram, there's so many women that look great. Where I'm thinking, why is she not competing? Why is she not competing?
Yeah.
I mean, also now I lived in Brazil all of last year, and bodybuilding is extremely popular in Brazil. I mean, I was
Hmm.
surprised got there. Like, whew, there's so many women working out there. It's very popular. I didn't meet
Hmm.
activity, not one negative comment or nothing in a whole year. Like only just walking around on the street or in the mall, or like just regular people would come up to me and be like, "Wow, love your body, great dedication." Like
Yeah.
I wish that. Like it was really awesome.
When you look at it now, how do you recruit women into bodybuilding?
It,
The issues is we see it, more shows. The visa is still an issue because that eliminated at least one competitor from last year. But what else can be done?
in terms of growing the sport.
Growing it in recruitment, because there's a lot of women that did not compete last year, um, and I'm looking forward to having them on Amazon's watch list. And with me, it's not so much as a watch list as it is a shot list for it being a photographer. But I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing like Chelsea Dion come back.
Mhm.
She took a year off, but there were a lot of competitors out there that didn't compete. Didn't say they were retiring, but I'm trying to see if they come back.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's good sometimes to take a year off. I mean, I did it myself. Sometimes
Hmm.
I had competed 12 years in a row with no
Right.
break. And yeah, my body it was taking a toll, it was too much. So
Hmm.
that year off. So it's not necessarily that anyone retires because they take a year off. It's just
Hmm.
take care of your health as well, and take care of your
Right.
joint. Always push so hard, like you can only push so much. Rest and recovery is also very important. uh,
Hmm.
but yeah, I'm looking forward to Chelsea coming back as well, seeing what she's bringing. She's looking like she has a very successful off season. um in terms of growing the sport, I really would like to see more sponsors step up. You know,
Hmm.
um, that's one thing. Like I mean, a Mr. Olympia title is $600,000, and
Yeah.
down from 600. Even fourth place is a lot of money. They can make big. So for us, I mean, it's not like I want to sit here and complain because the prize money has gone up, but it's still
Mhm.
like bad circumstances for women. It still is because it's not just about prize money; it's also about sponsorships. Like
Mhm.
I know many of the guys, and they're sitting with thousands of dollars sponsorships every month. They don't have to work. They have cars, and they get their rent paid, and I'm of course not everybody, but there's good sponsorships for guys,
Right.
but
And the
they're
Arnold. No, go
sponsors
ahead.
for women.
Hmm. I was gonna say, and the Arnold's is gonna be 300K this year. Um,
And see, we don't have the opportunity of winning that in our
yeah.
nation. I think I don't think I know that if there's more money, like when Rings of Strength they came, oh, you get $100,000 car, you get $50,000. A lot of women all of a sudden came to the table. I think we need another push of just
Hmm.
more money coming our way. That it's not just like a struggle to try and compete and try and find the money for it. I mean, you need money for just life. So if
Hmm.
you don't win nothing, you don't get sponsors, you don't it's a struggle to try and find money for the flights and for the hotels and for the coach and for the posing coach and
Hmm.
food supplements, etc., etc. So I think really the issue here is like if everybody would help, and also the companies would step up and say, hey, we want to put some women bodybuilders on the front page. And I know, like, it's a niche sport and there's still not that many women bodybuilders, but it doesn't mean that you have to have the one on the front page that is um it's not meant to be catering to the mainstream. You know what I mean? Like, if you're a pro athlete, you are the epitome of um the the most you could ever achieve. It's
Hmm.
that doesn't mean that if you're on the magazine or you're on the promotion for a supplement company, for instance, that they have to identify with you. No, it's like, wow, this is a pro product. This is a product
Hmm.
is used by the best and by the best women. I mean, when I train women, you know, I hear like, oh, if I could just like look like 10% like you. So
Hmm.
I totally believe that you can totally market women's bodybuilder. You can totally market women with muscle. Like most women, they want muscle. They want,
Right.
you know, a shaped body. They want to have the glutes and the legs and, have some shape. So, you know, put us on, you know.
And what gets me, so Wings of Strength to Olympia, that's 100K that's up for grabs, and everybody's coming for it. But then what they've gone through to even qualify or get the invite uh, to Wings of Strength, and then the qualification to Olympia, they may as well be out of gas. I think the issue is, I know I certainly did what I could, and looking at some things going into this year, but there's a lot of other people that could that won't. You know, you don't have to put up the $10,000 sponsorship. You know, you can put up, whatever you can give, 5 to 1,000, whatever you can give something. And so I see both angles of it, both sides of it. The one side to say, is this worth an investment? I got it to put in, but will I? But then I see the other side of everybody saying, they need more money. They need more money for clickbait and everything else, but they ain't writing a check uh, towards it. I mean, they won't even get a subscription to Amazon's Fitness magazine at $25 a month, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I look at those guys too, at the same time,
Yeah.
because I'm like, you don't have to
And
be the richest person to put up something.
I'll say also, this is also a shout out to the fans. Like, hey, if you're a fan of the sport, help support. Like, I
Hmm.
had two sponsorships this year that really helped me. And that was you, Glenn, and it was,
Uh-huh.
and both companies, you know, you don't, I mean, you don't get fat over nothing, and all
Mm-hmm.
whole revenue goes to the athlete. You know,
Right.
it's like, of course, you put a little bit into the production, but it's you don't earn that much. Like it goes back everything to the athlete of the sponsorship
Mm-hmm.
going giving out, and you know, the more you fans you buy the magazine, you buy the clothes from Bad Rap, the more
Mm-hmm.
sponsored, you know,
Yep.
because that's just how it works. The money has to come from somewhere. So the
Right.
fans can do a lot too. And also what you said about the companies, it's like, yeah, it's not like you got to put 10,000 into each athlete or 50,000 or whatever crazy number you're thinking about. It can be something small. Maybe you say,
Right.
"You- I got a 500 a month, or I got 200, I got
Mm-hmm.
100, you know, I had a company that was or it was more like a photographer that was interested in me working with me, and he was so afraid that he wasn't going to get that photo shoot, that I wasn't going to live up to my word, that he wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
get monthly sponsorship because he wanted some kind of reassurance that I did this photo shoot with him. So
Mm-hmm.
I was just at the end, look, eh, I'm Helle Treveno. I'm a name, I'm a brand in the business. I stand for my word.
Right.
And if you don't believe that, there's no trust and we can't work together.
Right.
You know, it's a struggle sometimes, you
Mm-hmm.
know. So I really would urge the fans to support your magazine, support Bad Rep, support other companies that support the athletes, and yeah, companies out there, supplements, clothing, so forth. You know, just
Mm-hmm.
have a little portion of the money
Right.
as away as well. Let's just start it with something.
Because you can't give back, and that's the way I'm able to do a lot of what I was able to do to all the sponsors of Amazon's fitness magazine and subscribers. It makes a difference. And when
Yeah,
you see this going back into it, then people tend to give. But yeah, a lot of people just talk about it, but they ain't gonna be about it.
yeah,
Uh, just a just a bunch of wasted oxygen. But
that,
they won't be writing no checks. So it
yeah,
is what it is in that regard.
yeah.
2025. I mean, who out there do you think is coming for you? I mean, everybody's coming for you, but who jumps out to you is like, okay, you might want to watch this athlete, you might want to watch that athlete.
Um. Well, Ashley, she really propelled up quick from,
Quickly, yes, he did.
from even competing at bodybuilding and then just taking top spots. So I would definitely have my eye out for her. Um, and also, I mean, of course, the top, I know Andrea is going to want to keep it, and Yo is hungry.
Yes,
She's just pushing, you know. Um, I think Chelsea, as I mentioned, will be really interested. It's interesting to see when
yeah,
she.
I'm excited to see her after a year off. Yeah, but she
No,
was able to scout everybody too. So
a year off season can do a lot. Uh,
yeah,
so I'd be definitely interested to see. Um, who else? Who came in sixth?
six was
Nadia is also, she's someone who's
Capisoto, right? Let me see.
uh,
I have it here. Yeah, Nadia Capisoto was
fifth.
fifth. Christina Mendoza.
Ah,
Yep.
yeah, Christina. Well, both Nadia and Christina.
Yep.
Once you are in that top 10, you know, it's like anything can happen.
Right.
Um, I think Nadia has really improved. I mean, she's never been, I don't think, in the top 10 at the O.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so propelling to fifth, I really liked her look this year. Like, it was much harder. than she's
Right.
been years before. She's always had a big problem with conditioning, in my opinion. So yeah, she looked good. Um,
You run it down. So Christina Mendoza, Lavanya Barros, Sherry Priyami, Michaela Aycock, Teresa Avancic, Lydia Opre from Hungary, Julia Wetzel, Hunter Henderson. She was a late qualifier. Uh, Alcione Santos Barreto and Ava Malelio.
well,
So
great physique. I just
yeah.
she needs a few more years. She needs to mature a bit more. I think she can be dangerous in the future, but she needs a few.
Mm-hmm.
Alciona was very surprised. She fell from from a third to what,
Mm-hmm.
10th?
Alcione, she went, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that was damn. She must have been devastated because that's not fun. That,
Well, the thing about it, and I was going to ask you also, do you think it's a thing of coaches can miss that peak week?
but she
I
was
mean,
shredded. She was shredded.
mm-hmm,
Um, I don't know if she also had an injury. She had surgery.
mm-hmm,
If that hurt her physique, her symmetry a bit. Um, I was impressed with how shredded she was, but
mm-hmm.
I think just symmetry wise, she still has some work to do.
Right. And I look for Rashana Boswell too. Those were just on the outside looking in from 2023 to 2024. I mean, every year is different. Every year is different. The only ones we know for sure that are in are, the top. Well, we got four now, five now. You
I
win
mean,
the automatic qualifier, the top three, and then uh, the girl that won the Romania Muscle Fest. So
if you make the peak at the qualifiers, it's just you're not gonna make it to the O. I feel sorry that Rashana didn't make it. She's the Masters Miss Olympia, and
mm-hmm,
I just feel like she always comes short on her conditioning. She has a great physique. Uh,
mm-hmm,
Gotta come in harder. That's kind of her Achilles.
yeah,
Uh, that was a lot of great. This show, like they said, it was going to be the tough lineup ever, probably. Um,
mm-hmm.
it was
I
great.
think it was.
Christina was sixth. She looked really amazing as well. I think that's her highest placing to date. Or was she in the Olympia before? I don't. I think she was qualified last year, but she pulled out.
Yeah,
But
mhm,
she really looked amazing. Um, she has a great potential for the coming years. She
yeah.
just will also work a little bit more on her overall symmetry, get a little harder. But
Mm-hmm.
I like her physique a lot.
Mela Ash. I mean, it's a lot of usual suspects
Yeah,
that's out there. That's like, okay, don't count them out.
yeah. I mean, hey, 1 year can do a lot.
When will you go into prep? You think?
It really depends on which show I'm doing. Like I said, I'm looking at a few options.
Mm-hmm.
I have a talk with my coach soon and make some decisions. So it's
I
all
think it would be great to see you on stage before the Olympia, but it's gonna be great either way. And I think everybody's just itchy now to see the list come out and excited because fans will have you doing a show every month.
sure. I won't be doing a show every month, but I will say I am going to do a show before the Olympia.
That's good stuff.
Maybe
Other than the wings of strength.
maybe multiple even. We'll see.
So, okay, all right, good stuff. We can see you at least maybe twice before the wings of strength.
maybe
Maybe.
maybe.
Hell, I appreciate you talking with me as always. Look forward to you coming back on. Congratulations. Lifetime qualifier to the Olympia. So hey, the last question I would ask you, and you can put it out there. When it comes to women's bodybuilding, um, all of these 6 women's categories, really. What do you think they fail to have an exit strategy? How long to go and do this? Maybe you did too many shows. I mean, you can always look back and say, well, I had this regret. I would have done this different or that different. What would Helle Treveno have done different? And obviously, you're not done. And I'm not telling you to go off into retirement, but is there an exit strategy that women's bodybuilders should have?
You definitely should have an exit strategy because, like we talked about, the sport is not going to put the dollars in your pocket. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, I think most do because, I mean, you got to have a job
Mm-hmm.
for it. And if you don't, you need to definitely have a plan for when you retire. Um, I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna retire yet, but it is something that's been on my mind. Like it's always when you're one of the older athletes, you're kind of like, okay, how long can I keep this up? And also, like, with injuries, your body and stuff, you gotta. I mean, you still have a long life to live, so you gotta always gauge, like, okay, how's my body? How do I feel? Do I still have the mojo? Um, and yeah, how long do I want to keep this up, and why?
Mm-hmm.
And what am I doing after? What is my exit strategy? Those are questions that everybody should answer to themselves. Even if you're not an older athlete, you could have a serious injury and you're retired tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's not always you can come back. I had to answer those questions for myself because I had some serious injuries and I didn't know for sure if I would come back or not. So I had to kind of see, okay, what is A, B, and C gonna look like for me? But I mean, I have this dream. I just want to win Olympia once. That's before I retire,
Right.
and it's hard for me to let go of that. Like, I'll say at this point, I take year by year. Every year, I say, okay, do I want to do another?
Mm-hmm.
There years I've said I'm gonna freaking retire. It's like, um, I mean, of course, every year when you do not place how you wanted to, it's a disappointment.
Right.
You got to kind of see, like, how you get past that and be like, okay, that wasn't what I wanted. Do I fight or do I quit?
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, do I still have it? Do I believe that I can do it no matter what?
Appreciate you.
I still have it.
Yeah. You do. You do. And
I
looking for great things in 2025. You definitely give everybody a lot to think about, especially with you doing more than just 2 shows. I think that's going to be exciting just to see from the standpoint from the fan perspective. Um, and because that was the talk too. It's like, well, she's not going to do the Wings of Strange. She's going to hang out. Everybody want to see, and everybody was wondering, and obviously you showed them what you had. So good stuff.
Yep.
Talk to you soon. Love you.
Thanks a lot, Glenn. Love
All
you.
right.
Thank you.
And there you have it, Helle Treveno. Told her like it was, as she always was very candid. And the fact that she could be on stage before the Wings of Strength is exciting, and looking forward to see how things pan out in 2025. It's obviously early. There's no list out, no official shows. You can guess which ones that will be out, but you always got to be excited about women's bodybuilding if you have a passion for the sport and you love these women. And like I said, all 6 divisions are Amazons to me. So I love promoting them and looking for great things in 2025. Coming up on Tuesday, a lot of the person that we just talked about, Chelsea Dion, she took a year off. I'm excited to talk to her on Tuesday at 8 p.m. on December 2nd. So uh, tune in and check it out. I know she'll have a lot to say. And it'll be good to see her back on stage in 2025 as well as so many. The January issue, I'm preparing a list of the Amazon's watch list, if you will. And like I said, it's not like a watch list that you would think of a watch list. It's more of a shot list for a photographer, those that I would love to shoot. But there's some on there that be like, yeah, everybody's going to be looking for them because there's always that unknown competitor that everybody doesn't know about that comes out of the shadows and like, wow, who is this? Much like Ashley Jones did this past year. So let's be excited about it. Celebrate the female physique. Subscribe to AmazonsFitMag.com, and I'll see you guys on Tuesday. Make sure that you do subscribe to the website, AmazonsFitMag.com, because when you do more, I can do more for these ladies as well. And to all those sponsors and subscribers to the magazine since the beginning in 2022, thank you. And those that have continued to be there with your support, not just in subscribing, but also purchasing the magazine. I much appreciate you. We'll see you next time.